Oh, g'day Rugby League fans and welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast. It is the ACC's one-stop shop for all things NRL, all things Warriors, and it is brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies, the perfect at-home snack for watching rugby league. Joining me this year, as per, by the way, Chris Key here, aka Adam Fanua-Keezy. Joining me this year, we will have Ben Hurley, we will have Mania Stewart. Today, however, I've got the one and only Dai Henwood. Dai, how are you, my friend?
Oh, Tohu Henwood is very excited about this upcoming Warriors season. In fact, I must say this is the first time I must say since 2012,
yes,
I've been really jazzed going into a next season after a really good season. The Warriors recruited well. There's such a good vibe. Selling out pre-season games. Keezy, it's exciting, mate.
It is bloody exciting. And, I don't want to start talking about the Warriors of old, but I don't have that feeling I usually have of, I think last year was a bit of a mirage. I do feel as though we can build from that. The culture's good. Webster's good. As you said, we've recruited really well. I love everything that I'm hearing out of the club, which is F all. Things are going to be great.
So it's over 10 years since we've gone back-to-back into top 8.
Yeah.
There is the call that the Warriors are the cryptocurrency of the NRL. They're just like up and down and all over the shop. In the past, yes. But now, under, I believe people are calling him Webb Lasso, Coach Webb Lasso, we are in a great place. There's an argument that we have recruited the best versus what we lost. We lost younger players like Vailea and so forth.
Getting Capewell,
But Capewell, I have to say, Kurt Capewell is a signing I was slightly dubious about. However, seeing how he showed up in that Dolphins game, it made me realise he is so good on the chase. He is so good on the effort areas.
Yes.
And he's an old head. We've got a beautiful mix of old heads and really fresh young shoots, young talent coming through. Keezy's come straight from the Red Fox Tavern. You might have heard he just dropped his phone there, mate.
Sorry, fellas. I'm just so excited. Mad Monday is back for 2024. That does also mean that Supercoach is back too, Di. Better get all the admin out the way before we start getting too full on about Kurt Capewell. So the way the podcast is going to work this year is we're going to do a review show on Mondays. And then on the Thursday, we will do a preview of the round coming up and a bit of Supercoach chat as well, once we've seen the old team lists and stuff there. If you are keen to join our Supercoach group, it is called the Mad Monday Munters League. 287823 is the code. That is 287823. You take on myself, Dai Henwood, Ben Hurley, Mania Stewart, and heaps of other people from the ACC too. We've also got...
What's your team name this year?
It's Adam Fanua-Keezy,
yeah.
But I'm thinking of changing it now because Adam's going to leave at the end of the year. I'm thinking of changing it to Roger Keezy Vasashek.
That's nice.
It has to be crowbarred in there, though. You know what I mean?
I should have gone with Tohu Henwood. I went the Dozy Fraggles for some reason.
Yeah, which is great in its own right. I think you got to keep that.
I think I'll keep that.
Yeah, so I probably will be changing it to Roger Keezy Vasashek at some point. But you can win a signed Warriors jersey, obviously bragging rights, and there's going to be other freebies and stuff added as well. We've also got a new Mad Monday Munters group live on Facebook, which is a brainchild of Mania Stewart. Basically, look up Mad Monday when you're in Facebook, or check this out, facebook.com/groups/Odin Ryan.
Just because Odin Ryan is one of those just easy to spell words.
I looked at it and I was like, is that how you spell it? So definitely just type in Mad Monday on Facebook there. It helps you guys, you can post stuff if you want us to talk about it on the podcast, any NRL chat. I want it to get nice and toxic in there, really have a go at one another, and then we'll talk about that on the potty. We've also got tickets to Warriors home games to give away every month as well, so it is worth getting involved. But before we rip into some NRL chat, Di, because we've been on, a few minutes now?
Yeah.
Should we take a quick break?
Why not? I'm knackered.
Welcome back to the Mad Monday potty. Dai Henwood, let's rip into the Warriors for 2024. Big changes to the team. You've obviously got Kurt Capewell, the main signing, coming back in, the return of Chanel Harris-Tavita, and the one we all knew was happening and is just so glorious to be seeing throughout the preseason, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. We've touched a bit on Capewell. The reason I loved his signing is just he's so experienced, even part of the Broncos the last few years who have been rebuilding. Obviously, he's state of origin experience as well. And it's quite often you look at the state of origin teams and there's not one Warrior on there. So it's quite nice. The last one was like Jacob Lillyman or something. It's quite nice to be like, Capewell, he's experienced, he can lead us around.
Wildcard, what if Wade Egan plays for New South Wales this year?
Well, I tell you what, hooker, Damien Cook is getting on a wee bit.
And he hasn't had the electric sort of pace and line breaks that he's had in years gone by.
And they've usually bring Robson off the bench, who's more of a staunch tackle his ass off kind of hooker, whereas Wade Egan is a scoop and run and no look pass.
What made me think about that was in the Dolphins game, the Mitch Barnett try, where Wade Egan at dummy half stepped left and threw the silky ball right to put Mitch Barnett over, was just such a beautiful piece of play, but also a very intelligent piece of rugby league play and also a very hard piece of rugby league play. So if we've got someone like Wade Egan who is just clicking into great form, fingers crossed no head knocks.
Health-wise, yeah, that's the only risk.
Then you've got these ball players of our forward pack. When we do these sweeping plays, you didn't really see it in the first trial game against West Tigers where we went down by 2 points. That's because we had all our young guys on. We had pretty much first team for a good 60 minutes of the Dolphins trial, and just some of those tries, the lines that the Warriors forwards run are exquisite.
And they were also exquisite last year. Right,
yeah.
So they were. And so the fact that we've shorn it up now with like the likes of Capewell and those boys have had another year under Webster, I think you're right, because Robson off the bench is so boring in State of Origin. If Wade, especially, was it early last year, Wade Egan was genuinely one of the top 3 hookers performance-wise in the competition. He was excellent.
He makes so many metres. He knows when to run. He plays a solid game. He's not afraid of the real hard work of getting in there and tackling, which maybe he should chill out on a little bit.
He's a bit like Chanel Harris-Tavita. They're always searching for hurt,
Searching to
Just
go
chill.
hard. He doesn't care where his head is. He's going. And the big standout, which I listened to Aaron Woods talking, and he was rambling on about how the Warriors are going to slide to 12th to 15th.
Righto, Woodsy.
Okay, Woodsy. This was pre-trials. He was going, the move back to league from Union's so hard. Tuivasa-Sheck didn't miss a beat. A stepping machine. I was licking my lips, Supercoach-wise.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
It felt like every time he got the ball, it was one tackle break. 10 metres, one tackle break. And if he can get a few tries on the line, I just think he'll be setting our wingers up. I'm very enthused about this season, and shortly-ish we'll go through our sort of opening games. But I'm confident. I'm not too confident on top 4 just because there's some very solid teams, but I think we're somewhere around that 4, 5, 6 mark for sure.
Absolutely, you're right. We're not 7 or 8, and we don't need to be top 4 anyway. I'm stoked to just be up there in the conversation. Do you think the inclusion of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, obviously last year, that right side with Dallin scoring so many tries, Sean sweeping around, skip pass out to like Chance Nickel-Klukstad, do you reckon now that Roger's there on the left with Marcelo Montoya rather than Adam Pompey, can you see the Warriors unlocking that left side more? Because towards the end of the season, other teams were like, they're always going to be going right. And even though they couldn't stop us anyway, but, it sort of opens us up a bit more.
Well, I to be honest, think Pompey will drop out and it'll be Rocco Berry. I think we can now go both ways. I was a bit interested to see Montoya had a slow end to the season, but wow, whatever he's done in the off-season, he's just rock solid. How good is it as a Warriors fan to have 2 awesome wingers? It takes me back to like the Manu Fusiatua, Ken Mamalo, like just these big bodies who do the hard runs and they can just finish, man. DWZ just looks on point. where I was very interested coming into these trials was seeing what was going to happen in the halves. Luke Metcalf just looks like a first grader, so
he was showing signs of it last year, right? It was like, this guy is good, and he was getting better and better. A whole nother off-season, man. Yeah, we've just got to unleash this dude.
Sean Johnson, Luke Metcalf. How weird is it? Like, I'm looking, people who are going to struggle to make the team, I think, is either Jazz and Dylan Walker. There's going to be some issue around there. This isn't at all because of any skill level. These are all amazing first graders. Tamari Martin.
Do you think Dylan Walker would struggle after last year?
No, I'm just thinking of the makeup of a team.
In 14? Are you talking about starting side?
Yeah, because in terms of a starting side, if you're playing Jazz and Dylan Walker on the bench,
one of those will have to.
You've got a small bench because then you're going Bunty and a Tom Ale. What I am wondering is also you've got these big bodies coming through like Zion Maiu, who just completely ironed out a dude. So we didn't get to see the best of him, but he's a first grader in waiting.
Absolutely.
Bunty played like, it felt like 60 minutes.
65 minutes or something, yeah.
And he played well for 60 minutes. So Bunty's done the step up. I love it that not only young people are fighting for positions, old heads are fighting for positions. Mitch Barnett looks just settled in that prop rotation.
Yep.
Who knows? Tohu Harris might move into the prop rotation, play less minutes, and then we play someone different at lock.
Who could play at lock for us? Just looking at the team.
See, then I wonder whether you try and fit a Jazz in at lock. Jazz.
What about Jazz during the preseason though?
Yeah, I love Jazz's heart.
Same.
But to be honest, the errors under how Webster coaches and plays this game are a bit unacceptable. The drop balls, the heat of the moment stuff.
It seems like with Jazz Tavanga, you're trying to like bottle this incredible thing, this lightning that he provides, and it's just so hard to get it all right so that he can unleash it in the best possible way.
Yeah, it's almost like where he really shone was when we were going pretty shitty, and you needed someone to come on and just go wild card and do something crazy that put us onto the front foot.
Yes.
Like nail a dude and knock the ball out.
Yes.
But now we play such a controlled game. It's going to be interesting to see if he fits into the side. But the best thing about that is his spot's not guaranteed. So he's going to have to work hard at training.
Absolutely.
He's going to have to show, no, I can step up and play this. Dylan Walker is probably the silkier of the two in terms of he's got the passing. He's played in the halves before, he's played fullback before, he's played lock before. He can go anywhere.
The ultimate utility. And the thing, like obviously Jazz and Dylan last year, the Ball brothers would come on and shit would go up a level, which we loved. I think I was excited for Jazz's hard running, big hits, those sorts of things. I was more excited for Dylan Walker's touches. He's such a classy player that was obviously so underrated by myself while he was at Manly especially.
Oh, completely. And I was like, Dylan Walker, that's an interesting buy. Coming to the end of his career, he's not setting the world on fire, but
he's been brilliant. He was like held together by tape. He was always injured. He always had like knee break, and his touches are brilliant. So I would probably prefer Dylan Walker. Look, it's going to be so exciting seeing the team list, the official team list on Tuesday. I'm just hanging out for that. And this, to be honest, this Vegas round thing is very exciting, and I'll be glued to the TV on Sunday when it's happening, but I'm like hanging out for next weekend. I want to see that team list on the Tuesday. That's like Christmas Day for me.
A split round, nightmare for Supercoach.
Oh, it's a joke.
Because you get an early lockout on a few players.
Just quickly, this is something that I didn't actually realise on that. So the four teams, players from those four teams are locked out, but you still are free to completely switch around your team of all the other teams. I didn't realise that. I thought you had to have your teams locked in.
No, you can. It's only the only players that lock are the players that play.
Four teams,
but the hard thing is just that then creates a whole different scene because you're picking a team now without seeing the team lists for 13 teams.
Yes.
So regarding cheapies, is there a sort of mid-ranger who you've got who's not going to play?
Probably not. That's what I've learned.
I'm very intrigued to see how Vegas is going to go because one reason the pitch is 9 metres thinner
than
a rugby league pitch.
So it's an NFL
if you've
pitch.
Grown up kicking to specific corners on pitches, and you're in the middle of the pitch and it's 4.5 metres different each side. That's
lot.
quite 4.5 metres is quite a lot. Also, just the whole vibe and preparation will be different. I mean, I'm pretty excited. I love it because the time zone's awesome. We've got like a 3:30 game and a 5:30 game on a Saturday. That's just...
Is it Saturday here? I thought it was Sunday.
Sorry, Sunday here.
Okay, sweet.
For the Saturday evening over there. I'm a big fan. I mean, Keezy and I were texting how good the early World Club challenges. Getting up and watching a game at like 9 a.m. is
Have a coffee. It's brilliant. Yeah,
perfect.
It was great too.
Rather than getting punished by trying to watch the Six Nations, and then you're just back to sleep watching Wales get pumped again.
Well, my strategy towards the latter half of the season was to record the 10 p.m. game every night. Don't look at my phone once I go to bed, and then watch that while having a coffee.
That's how I do it.
Yeah. Whereas
especially because on Saturdays, even if I'm up, I've lost a bit of focus trying to do 3 games in a row or whatever.
Whereas Manaya's strategy is to watch 2 of them, get slowly more steamed, and then fall asleep halfway through that last game. And that was his strategy for the whole year. And so we'd be on Mad Monday, and he'd be like, I didn't actually catch the second half of that game. What happened? I was asleep.
I know, and then slowly opens up and realises he's putting his entire mortgage on the TAB. Well, he's steamed, hoping the Dragons would win 13 plus against Penrith.
He is known to do that, actually. So, and just in terms of Warriors preview for the season ahead, obviously we'll go more in depth on this once we've seen the team list next week. But things we're excited about, obviously Capewell, the main one for me and most fans is going to be RTS, though. A lot of people are sort of going, oh, man, Charles Klukstad, he's injured at the moment. Tane Tuopiki, who's a bit more inexperienced. Surely they'll go for Roger at fullback. I can see them sticking to what Webster's always done, which is, no, they've got backups. They need to stick at their role.
I love this from Webster. He has gone, our long-term fullback is Tane Tuopiki.
Great.
Right? Like, I'm talking 5 to 7 years away.
Wow, that's a long,
No, but like going, because Chance has got more seasons in him.
Absolutely.
Roger's an older head who we need, but also where Roger shone when he was at the Warriors was guiding the backline defensively. He is now in that backline. Tane Tuopiki can see the defensive reads. Roger's defensive reads are phenomenal.
Which was what we needed out there
Where we struggled was not so much Rocco Berry, but Adam Pompey either rushing in, even Marcelo rushing in.
They were all freaking out there.
So now they've got a cool head who knows his defence, like Roger going, no, push out that way, push in this way. He everything he does is professional. I just think it's so wonderful that we're committing to Tane Tuopiki. He's shown, he's a small body, but he's shown he can tackle. He runs an amazing line. This is a perfect way of giving him first grade experience. Give him 2 games while Chance is out.
Yeah.
Then he's got that taste and the hunger for it. You
know who else operates like this? It's Penrith, where Webster came from. And the fruits and they keep losing players like Stephen Crichton and then Luai next year, and they just don't care. They're like, no, we're sweet, we're sorted. That's the sort of the mentality I can see cropping up in the Warriors now, which is what I love.
The other fullback I'm excited about in the NRL is actually that Joash Papali, who he's at the Bulldogs.
Is he?
Which has really thrown me, right? So
Joash. I thought you were just saying Josh.
No,
Papali'i.
Joash. Then he gets interviewed, and they were like, they called him Papali'i.
Yeah.
And he was, oh no, so I'm the only guy who's Papali'i.
I'm actually Papali'i.
I'm Papali.
Really?
He goes, oh mate, actually everyone says Papali'i, I'm Papali. And of course, get that round an Aussie commentator's here to, what? So do we call everyone Papali now? No, different people have different names, mate.
Far right. Because who will be starting fullback for the Bulldog? That'll be Blake Taff, maybe?
Yeah,
or
Blake Taff at the moment. The Bulldogs as a team, I actually was picking as my smoky to be in the 8, but then I realised they have just recruited 14 number 14s. Their entire team seems to be utilities. Except for William and Kakao. So I don't know how they'll go. But back to our beloved Warriors, of course. It's Exciting times, because if we look forward, I've done a little bit of analysis on just our first 6 rounds.
All right, take me through it. I like this.
Just quickly go through this, right? We open up against the Sharks at Go Media Stadium.
Who
right?
I can see, they can start shaky, I reckon, the old Sharks.
So, yeah, they start shaky. I actually have them in my top 4.
What's the main difference?
It's a massive call.
Trindle?
Trindle is on fire.
Because Moylan was always a bit of a liability.
I actually think Hamlin Newelly, who we were going to buy but didn't come through, I think he's going to move to the next level. Royce Hunt seems to be moving up to almost Payne Haas sort of situations.
I hope so, because I have been, like, super coach-wise, I've been wanting to use Royce for a long time because he's such a massive unit. If he can take that next step, he would be,
He seems fitter. He's playing more. They're just a nice side to watch. They've got Kennedy at the back, who's one of those fullbacks who's a bit like Gutho. He's very underrated because he's not a Travojevic, Ponga or whatever.
That's right.
Reece Walsh. But he's always nailing it.
Their back 4 as well is just, like, they're all the exact same level of skill and ability, and they can click, and Hines can use them whichever way he wants, and now Trindle as well. So, yeah they're going to be
However,
dangerous.
they're playing us first round of the season at Go Media Stadium. Mount Smart. I feel it's going to be a very similar vibe to what was at that Knights game in, the first prelim final we had at home, where it was just epic Warriors. As we've turned that, congratulations to the all the behind-the-scenes crew at the Warriors for turning Mount Smart, Go Media Stadium, into an absolute fortress. So I see us taking a win there. However, our second round is at Amy Park against the Storm.
Cool, the traditional early season Storm game on their territory.
And wow, the Storm just look good. It's Bellamy's last year. I reckon Bellamy's going to want to go like 26 round wins and then try. I reckon he would want to try and win the premiership without losing a game.
And they better be good wins too. I don't want sloppy wins.
And Pappenhausen looks dangerous. That dude, ironically, his last injury was a blessing.
Because last year was a shambles.
It took him out.
Yeah.
But it meant that he's been able to rehab the knee.
Properly rehab.
For a whole extra almost season. So I think that could be that. I'm sort of picking that up, which I don't mind, is a bit of a loss.
Yeah.
Round 3, we've got the Raiders at the beautifully named Apollo Project Stadium in Christchurch.
Oh, is that the new one?
Yeah, so we're playing round 3 as a home game for us in Christchurch. This was a hard one to pick for me because, one, I don't know quite where the Raiders are at. I see them actually maybe being a bottom 8 team.
I see them being terrible just because of the amount of new names and you don't really know who's playing where. Their backline especially, I feel, is going to be quite weak.
And I haven't got a read on Tapane, how he's going to play, because he sort of wasn't that happy there last year. His wife was tweeting Instagramming some interesting stuff to Ricky Stewart.
And then obviously Tapane in the not the World Club, in the All-Stars, I mean, he was his usual blockbusting self, which was cool. But last year, I feel Tapane wasn't quite himself compared to that year before, where he was literally one of the best props in the game, him and Payne Haas.
Imagine Tapane in when Adam leaves would be amazing.
Come home, brother.
But I have that as a win for us in Christchurch.
I would like to think so.
So I think after 3 rounds, we will have taken 2 wins. Then we go into round 4, Knights, Go Media Stadium.
Oh, bring
Mount
it on,
Smart.
sucker. And that's a hissing Knights as well.
Yeah.
I reckon.
So, Knights, Ponga is on fire.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much else they've got, I think. Although Greg Marju...
I was just going to say Greg Marju. I really wanted to start the year with him, but I can't. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Marju, they're solid. They're solid but beatable.
I think, coming back to Go Media Stadium, we're all going to get around the whole, let's show them, the same sort of treatment.
So I think, and also this is early in the season, so the fans will be fizzing. So I'm taking that as a win. So far we've got 3 wins out of 4 rounds. Then we go over and we play the Rabbitohs at Accor Stadium. I think this might be a loss. Where I worry about is the Rabbitohs' new left edge, which goes Cody Walker, Keon Kolomatangi, Jack White, and Alex Johnston.
That is devastating, obviously. Especially Colin because he was on the right.
And by the way, there's Latrell Mitchell.
And Latrell Mitchell will be floating in and out, yeah.
So that is quite a devastating left edge. And they touched us up at home with that left edge.
Yeah, they always do beat us, I think, the Rabbitohs recently. They always...
And the Rabbitohs, I feel, play a very similar game to us. Jai Arrow, he's one of my Supercoach guys in the front row. He's moved into the front row. I think he'll be having a good one. This is also round 5, so they will have got back from Vegas, settled into the season.
Whiten's back in because he's stood down at the moment.
Yeah, he's on a 2 or 3 match suspension.
But they don't have. I know they don't have Campbell Graham for a long time. They don't have Ty Munro. They're developing winger, so he's out as well on the right. So their left looks devastating, and because Colin Matangi was on the right, right?
Yeah, and they moved him to the left.
They've moved him. They've gone all in on the left side, which I love.
I love because it's just so slick. But then you put once Campbell Graham slots into that, and Lachlan Ilias is looking pretty good. So I'd be comfortable if we took a loss there. Round 6, the Sea Eagles at Go Media Stadium, Mount Smart. I put that as a win. I'm putting the Sea Eagles around 14 for me.
Wow, why is that? Because I actually have a weird feeling. You know, you just get weird feelings deep in your gut about certain teams. For some reason, I can see the Sea Eagles doing really well this year. Tom Trbojevic finally healthy. Luke Brooks, Ruben Garrick. I think Luke Brooks will have like a huge bounce back.
Sipley is just a...
Tour for 4.
Sipley is
Olaquatu, of course. Daly Cherry Evans, he's got 1 or 2 more good years left of being at the top of his game. For some reason, I can see them going really well.
I can see them going well, but we're going to win.
Oh, yeah, no, they're going to lose that game.
So out of those first 6 rounds, I think we're going to end with 4 wins, 2 losses,
right.
Which, juggling it with a few other ones, would put us about 6.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy.
I'm happy to end there because I want to sort of divide the season up almost into 4 blocks of 6 rounds. And if we can come out of each block of 6 with a 4 and 2 ratio, I think we'll be in a great place.
A 4 and 20 pies ratio. I like
4
that.
4 and 20 pies. Get it in ya.
Far out. All right. Well, there's Dai's prediction for the opening 6 rounds. We might take another short break here on the Mad Monday podcast. When we return, a little more in-depth of a look into where we think certain teams might finish this year, and, of course, a bit of Supercoach preview as well. Welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast. Dai Henwood, you had something you wanted to get off your chest just then. What was it?
Oh, it's just, while I was playing, I was just fizzing because this actually plays into, I'd quite like to talk about looking at the top 4, right?
Yeah.
A team that I'll have in the top 4 is Brisbane, but I think someone who's going to have a shocker of a year, Reece Walsh.
Really?
I think he's going to get blinded by the NFL. And he's going to want to try and make it in the NFL. So he's going to be playing a couple of years in the NRL, but with eyes to go to the NFL. And as everyone has shown, you can't go from the NRL to the NFL.
No, that's a good, because his rise has been so meteoric, right?
And last year, it started to get, he's yelling at refs.
Yes.
He was yelling at his other teammates. Charlie and my son went to the grand final, and all we did was watch him.
Yeah.
He was getting so frustrated. He was making positional mistakes. So I wonder whether he's going to try and overplay his hand to show how awesome he is.
Especially going to Vegas first round, getting a taste of it over there.
And I've been seeing every photo of him. Have you seen him with the shirtless with the NFL helmet on?
Yeah, receiving throws from Tom Brady in the off-season and that corporate event. You see that?
Oh, I know, celebrating, because Tom Brady played till he was 67, so I think it was his 76th birthday or whatever.
See, it can either go one of 2 ways with Reece Walsh, because I see him as a guy who does not care the stage. He isn't affected. He doesn't care. He'll play well.
He's trying to catch up with Travis Kelce, and he's dating Shakira now, and it's just chaos.
So that'll either be one of his realities, or the other reality is he has another year, kills it.
A blinder.
Yeah.
But I think regardless of what happens with Reece Walsh, I think Kevin Walters has got the Broncos pretty humming. They're in a premiership window. I see them in the top 4.
So top 4, Panthers, obviously.
Panthers,
Broncos.
Melbourne.
Oh, in order. Okay, Melbourne second.
Sorry. So I have first Melbourne.
Wow.
Second Panthers. third Broncos, fourth Sharks.
Fourth Sharks. See,
That's my smoky.
right.
Fifth Warriors.
I'm so, I love the Sharks. I love watching them play. I love watching Mulitalo and Sione Katoa dot down. I love watching, who's the old psycho dude that runs out really fast from the tunnel? Finucane.
Oh,
Dale Finucane. I had to remember the nickname before I could remember his name.
What I love is he is the least agile player.
Yeah.
Yet he runs like he's doing a 100-meter sprint.
I love it.
And then he's knackered.
Yeah,
plays 10 minutes and has to have a sit down.
It's so great.
And of course, one of my favourite league players, Toby Rudolph.
Toby Rudolph, who's the man. And I love Cam McInnes as well. So I love the Sharks. However, I'm sick of going, man, the Sharks are going to go sweet. And then they just don't.
To be honest, I'm putting us in the 4 and Sharks out.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
But in this scenario, I'm gonna bump up. I feel as though the Roosters are going to have a massive bounce back this year. I don't know why.
Oh, I like hearing this.
Obviously, I hate them, and everyone does except for you. But I just feel that last year was such a schmozzle for them. They started to right the ship towards the end of the season, started to click. I know there's all this talk about Teddy not being his old self, but he's still a gun. I feel like Trent Robinson's going to really sort them out this year.
Yeah, Trent Robinson came out in an interview saying that he needs to be a better coach.
Oh, there you go.
He wants to step up. They're the kind of side that don't have bad seasons back to back. Like, they sort their stuff out. So
same
I
with
hear
the
on that.
Storm.
And also, one of my favourite players, Sitili Tupanua, is back.
He's back.
And he looks in good form. He's actually shot up the rankings in Supercoach styles, I think.
Yes.
I'll be quite tempted to have him in my second row.
Well, actually, on that, we need to move to Supercoach.
Yep.
You keen to do a quick bit of Supercoach chat?
Absolutely love it.
So, just a full disclosure, my Supercoach team, because I'm happy to talk through who I've got, and I think we've started it in a similar fashion. You and I.
Why don't we do a little? You do hookers, I'll do hookers. You do front row, I'll do front row.
Okay,
We'll
that's
just
great.
whip through it that way.
Okay, so starting hooker, not even thinking about it, Harry Grant, and on the bench at this stage, Jaden Brayley, just to sit there until he's playing again because he's so cheap. If it's like next week, I might change to Hands or one of those other fellas, but I don't want to.
Interesting. I've gone, of course, Harry Grant. I think you probably can't start without Harry Grant. He was just streetsy at the best. And, I've got, I was trying to actually, I'm still trying to figure it out. I want to get Brandon Smith.
The cheese, bounce
cheese.
back.
Hectic cheese. I think he's going to have bounce back season. But at the moment, I've got Lussick on there at the Eels. I think he's going to go. He's going to go 80 minutes.
I think he'll start over Hands. Whether that lasts, because Brad Arthur's just said that's going to happen. But
and he said he wants an 80-minute hooker.
Yeah, but if it's not working, I worry they'll switch it around. And also, I don't know about Jaden Brayley. I know Phoenix Crosland was doing a great job, but I feel like in about 6 weeks' time he'll be starting again.
Oh no, sorry, I have swapped it round. Didn't save it. I have gone. Brandon Smith.
Oh, the cheese.
And I'll tell you what, I've downgraded Payne Haas.
Oh, I see. So here we go, front rowers. I've got Max King as my premier front rower, 547k, a bit cheaper, and I've paired him with Tavita Totola, but I keep swapping Totola out with Jai Arrow. I'm getting vibes around Totola that he's going to have a big season, but he never kind of does. He kind of does the same thing every year. And then on the bench, Xavier Wilson and Sam Hughes from the Bulldogs are my two cheapies.
I've got, I did have Payne Haas in there, but I got a feeling he might have a slow start to the season. So I've downgraded him for Ruben Cotter at the
He's quite cheap, 500
Cowboys.
or something.
Yeah, 542. And Jai Arrow, and then I've got Hughes from the Dogs and Liam Henry from the Panthers on the bench as my cheapies.
Will Liam Henry play at all? Bench?
I don't know.
We're going to have to tutu with those.
These ones my cheapies are the ones that will change / stuff up my team when I see who's in and who's out.
So this is one of the most interesting positions this year is the second row forwards, because you can walk in with 1.3 mil in your pocket, walk away with 3 potential guns. Sean Lane, have you got him?
Yes.
I don't have Sean Lane. Is that weird?
A little bit. I like Sean Lane.
I love Sean Lane, but I'm just not sure he's playing 80.
He's been in and out, but he's come back in because I've got a really nice settled second row.
Right. Okay. So I've got Helam Lukey, Beau Fermor, who I know he got up into the 700k price range almost at one point. Sitili Tupanua, same as you. Love that he's in the starting side. And on the bench, I've got Josh Curran. He's probably my playing reserve, and then 2 cheapies and Bradley at the Storm and Martin at the Knights probably won't play. But I keep switching around Curran and Tupanua whether or not I have them, and other names keep floating in, your Lanes and...
You see, the ones I'm swapping between are Tupanua and Lane.
Yeah, right, okay.
So currently I had Tupanua in yesterday. Today my team is looking like Lukey. I think you got him Piakura from the Broncos. Sean Lane. Then I got Smithies from the
Raiders.
The Raiders.
I kind of want him as well.
And I got a holding place of Gaia at Penrith and
Maverick?
Viliami Fafita.
Yeah.
Who I think is very cheap, but I think is going to have quite a strong season. And also, I really want to have a second row, front row that I can shuffle.
Yes, having that switchability is always key. And to be honest, I think I'm definitely keeping Tupanua because I had Tupanua in a year that I won my draft league a few years back, and he was scoring so many tries. If he can get back to that, it'll be epic. And the reason I haven't got Lane is because I know everyone's got Lane.
Yeah.
And I just have a feeling that maybe, I don't know, the Eels are one of those teams like the Sharks where they can either be brilliant or maybe they won't click, maybe because they got a lot of back rows off the bench and stuff. So
But I think Parramatta and Eels head S-Lane will definitely... Definitely have a good season. Now we're into the glory position, halves and 5/8s. Where are you looking for those for?
Well, it's a no-brainer for me, and in my opinion, Hines and Cleary, the first two I selected. I just want them in there. I want it done and dusted. Unless they get injured, I don't care how they're playing. I'm sticking with them.
I've got Hines and Cleary as well. I think Hines is, as I look at my Supercoach side now, it's got the annoying red and white circle as an injury for Hines.
Which freaks me out.
It freaks me out a lot because if I change him, I start changing everything.
Yes.
I love Hines and Cleary there. I've sort of doubled down. Then in 5/8s, I've gone Dylan Brown and Ethan Strange. Ethan Strange is obviously in and out with KO Weeks.
And the Raiders there,
The Raiders.
One of those two, right?
But if you've got a good half who's at 238k who could score some points and be a reserve, that's looking pretty good. Who's in your 5/8?
So I had Dylan Brown in there, and then I decided that, you know what, I'll have him eventually, but I want to shore up sort of my front row because my front row was almost 4 cheapies at one stage.
Yeah.
So I've dropped him down to, he's a Lamborghini, this guy's a Maserati, so almost as good. Luke Brooks, starting 5. What do you reckon?
You win Supercoach with bold plays. Luke Brooks is a bold play. Everyone says he's training the house down at Manly.
He's had so much shit hung on him for so long. I'm just like,
and he's
surely.
free of it.
He's free of it now. He doesn't have to worry about being the guy that's going to save the franchise. That's Tommy, Daly. They're taking care of that.
So if he's running good lines and putting like Travojevic and Garrick in some good space.
And they always pop through little gaps. So
they pop through little gaps. They create quick plays with the ball. Luke Brooks is good at playing on his feet. I like that. How much is he?
$560. So he's not cheap.
So he's not a mid-ranger. He's not a gun, and he's not a cheapie. He's in that annoying.
And the reason I did that is what I did was I had Dylan Brown there. I was like, I'm not thinking about it, Dylan Brown. And then to free up some cash and tutu around in other areas, I just downgraded him to like one of the next fellas. I was like, okay, Luke Brooks. And then as I was doing it, I was looking at him and I was like, actually, I quite like that as a bit of a smoky because everyone dislikes Luke Brooks. And I think he's going to come out with a point to prove, and Manly are going to play better this year, is what I'm hoping. And then I've got Strange as well, and the reserve 5/8, and then depending on him or Weeks, whoever starts.
Have you moved into? Are you saving money in your centre wings?
Kind of straight in there. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck.
Oh,
like straight in there.
100.
Yeah, it's like when you do fantasy NBA, you just grab LeBron because you want to watch one of your favourite players. I want to watch Roger tear it up, and I don't care if he...
I don't want to... There are players I don't want to watch succeed and not have. It really irritates me.
Exactly, yeah. And watching players like, for example, Hines or Cleary or Trebojevic and not having them, those are those kind of guys that you go, ugh. I've then got May from the Panthers. However... Taylor May, I don't know what's going to happen now that Taruva is injured. I don't know the severity of that injury. Is he now going to go back to the wing, but then he'll probably have Peachy, who's a massive hamu?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if he is the slam dunk at this stage, depending on Taruva. But for now, I'm just putting him in there because he seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, fair. I understand that.
Have you got him?
No.
Okay. Jesse Arthurs?
Jesse Arthurs?
Yeah, from the Broncos.
Yeah, how good was he at fullback for the Māori side?
Oh, yes, absolutely. He's
so good he got taken off after 30 minutes because he dropped the ball, missed 2 tackles.
No, hang on. Playing fullback, right?
Yeah.
He's on the right wing where he is solid. He's obviously earned a spot over some good names outside Selwyn Cobbo for the Broncos, who I think are going to be excellent this year.
Yeah,
He's only
I see
376.
that. 376, a finisher. So you're gambling on tries because he's not a big line break guy, not a big tackle guy.
I'm gambling on whether or not Reece Walsh does that whole shit the bed go to the NFL thing because he's going to be putting him through for a lot of tries, I think. That's what my brain's telling me. He's 376.
So, sorry, I forgot. Were you yes to Taruva at the moment? Yeah.
No. I'm yes to Taylor May at the moment.
Taylor May,
depending on what happens. But to be honest, I might just stick with him. He's on the Panthers.
Yeah.
And then I've got Drew Hutchison in my other centre wing spot just because he's starting for the Dogs. He's 350. Then I've got Ben Trebojevic, who's been named to start for Manly. And then the other two spots, I've got Jacob Gagai in there. He's probably going to get switched out with Tane Milne, Isaac Thompson, whatever.
Yeah.
But Tyrone Munro's not back for, I think, a month or so at least. And then Campbell Graham's out for months as well. So, I mean, for them to start
Round 21, they're saying, for Campbell Graham.
Wow. So, oh, my goodness. But if he's earned a spot over those other guys who are healthy at the moment and they fought to have him to be able to play in Vegas, I'm like, surely they must back this guy.
Yeah.
He's bottom dollar as well. So without him in there, I can't have luxuries like Luke Brooks.
So I've gone RTS,
Yeah.
Bronson Sherry.
You reckon he'll start?
Yeah.
You reckon he'll play? But because
If not, I'll put Jamin Salmon in there.
yeah, okay.
Bostock from the Dolphins, who I loved how he was playing against the Warriors. He's tall.
Yes.
He makes line breaks. He's
Good under the high ball, the Matt
good
Burton.
under the high ball. He was fever pitch.
I might swap him out with Jesse Arthurs maybe at some point.
Ben Trebojevic,
Yeah, lock and load.
who's starting. Iro at the Sharks. I want to say Kevin Iro, but I'm sure it's not. Kane Bradley at the Storm.
Yeah.
And Stewart from the Raiders. Mania Stewart is in there. He's rock bottom as Mania Stewart at 204K.
But he'll stay there. He's glued to the bottom of the tin, Di. That's the issue with him.
And then fullbacks, what are you looking at?
No-brainer. Tom Trebojevic, Kalen Ponga.
Yep, Tom Trebojevic, Kalen Ponga for me. I mentioned before with RTS those players that you hate to see play well and not in your side. Both of those, I hate watching Knights games when I don't own Kalen Ponga. Even when they lose, he has those runs of 20 or 30 minutes where he puts on like 60 or 70 points.
He's on a heater.
And Tom Trebojevic, it's make or break.
Absolutely.
And following old Tommy Sangster, who runs the actual Supercoach, official Supercoach pods and all that, he made a good point that if you start with Tom Trebojevic and he's injured in those first few rounds, he's so expensive that it's one trade to a good
drink
player.
Water. Imagine going to...
Where, you downgrade to a drink water, you've got a bit of cash. However, if you don't have him and you need to bring him in,
Impossible.
You're probably going to have to find money from somewhere, so it's be 2 trades to bring him in. Then he gets injured, and it's 1 trade to bring him out. So I'm very comfortable with Tom Trebojevic and Kalen Ponga.
And the thing with all these big names is the first thing I did was put Harry Grant in, Hines and Cleary, Ponga and Trebojevic, and then said, right, I'll make this work because, as you said, they're so hard to get in because they're so expensive and that if at any point the wheels fall off any of them, you can downgrade Cleary to a Moses or whoever it might be without any dramas whatsoever. But not having them, as you say, is... It's depressing. It makes you not want to watch the game sometimes, you know?
What makes me happy, though, is that we've got similar but different teams here.
Yeah.
So this gives me poise that the Mad Monday Munters League is going to be popping off this year.
It will be popping off the top of the
and
esophagus.
Hurley was mentioning he'll have his team done by September, so he'll be in,
I was about to say,
in there as well.
Hurley was chatting Supercoach. I doubt it. Once again, the code, if you do want to join, if you've never played Supercoach before, who cares? Jump on. It'll change your life. You'll go from watching just the Warriors to watching every single game, sometimes twice like Dai does.
I just love it.
You can literally base your entire winter period around this game. The code is 287823. Heaps of great prizes on offer, and if you can smoke us, then we'll have to stop talking shit on the potty. So that's how it works. Look, we've got one last thing to do on Mad Monday before we rip into round 0 of the NRL. That is the TAB Game Day Good Punt. Adam Pormana, our producer, has come up with one for us heading into Vegas. Adam, what have you got for us, mate?
What we're looking to do is there was a story that broke this week for Joey Manu. I don't know if you guys saw that. Manai brought it to my attention. It's we were talking about it on the agenda this week. Joey Manu, his wife just had a child, and he came out in a story this week saying that he didn't want to leave his wife and child, and during that he
Fair
was
enough, yeah.
Well, that's the sort of thing I'd do.
Yeah.
Just you want to be there.
Well, it kind of makes sense, right? But this is where it kind of gets a bit odd. The team said, hey, if you want to stay back at home, you fully get the pass. There's no problems here. We're happy for you. You're having your kid. You should do the right thing. But Joey Manu said no. He said, hey, sorry, babe. The boys really need me. It's business time. I really need to be there for my team.
In Vegas.
And yep. I don't know if he would have said the words Vegas, but obviously it's very obvious. And so he is going over there.
Ironically, there's so much cover at the Roosters for the centres and fullback.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
don't need him.
Yeah.
No, but he needs to be there.
So why does he need to be in Vegas so badly? He doesn't
Because
want to
they're
miss the
trying
party.
to fit Billy Smith to Daniel Tupou.
Yeah, true. And then Dom Young, of course, the new
Dom
signer.
Young.
Yeah, God.
And because of that, it only makes sense that we're jumping on a boosted odd. Just because Joey needs to be there, it's business time. It's he really needs to prove a point, probably more to his mother of his child than anyone else. We're going Joey Manu, anytime try scorer, paying $4. So we would get with that bonus.
Juicy.
Yeah, bonus bet back. I feel like he's got a lot to prove at this point, and what better way to back him for a try?
Yep, so Joey Manu to score. Don't forget the TAB Game Day Good Punt. We'll be doing it every single week. Head to the TAB website, tab.co.nz, or download the app. Place a 3 or more leg same game multi on selected NRL games, and you'll get a refund up to $50 as a bonus bet. If you miss out by one leg, hey, bet responsibly, all right? An R18, no kiddies. Stay away. One last thing, before we go, Dai. We've got a 4 and 24 pack prize pack to give away.
I heard all those words.
Yeah,
and I'm
baby.
glad I wasn't the one saying them.
Shout out to Courtney for chucking way more words in there than needed to be just to trip me up. Each month, the Mad Monday team are giving away 4 tickets, that's the 4-pack, to a Warriors home match, and 4 and 20 pie 4-pack vouchers as well. So you can go watch 4 games with 4 pies each.
So you're getting a whole lot of Kai and 4 tickets to the Wars.
Exactly. It's a dream scenario. If you are keen, just enter text the monthly keyword to 3236. Listen to podcast episodes to find out the new keyword each month. This month, though, the keyword is 4. The number 4, but spelt out with letters.
FOUR.
Correct.
Exactly like flour, but without the L.
That's how I actually remember it.
Yeah.
Text 4 to 3236 now. Get yourself in the draw to win that 4 and 24 pack prize pack. And that's all she wrote. Di, first Mad Monday done for the season.
I absolutely love it. I'm fizzing. Don't worry, I will be back with an off-the-back fence once the season starts proper.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are commentating all games on Sky Sport again this year. So if you are keen to watch the Warriors, make sure you hit that button or swap over to the ACC's channel. Usually Sky Sports 9 or Channel 54.
We're on Sky Sport 9 this whole season, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. So from a South Ben Hurley, Manai Stewart, you die. Go the Wars.
I like the way you said the other two when I'm the only one who's actually here.
Sorry about that. And you, Adam, as well. Good on you, mate.